Good morning class, Sairam. Today we are going to start our next chapter, that is alternating current. The first topic that we will learn, that is alternating EMF. So see, alternating EMF is that EMF which continuously changes in magnitude and periodically reverse its direction. So what is the meaning of alternating? Alternating means that thing which keeps on changing. So alternating EMF keeps on changing with time. Similarly, we have alternating current, that current which keeps on changing continuously in magnitude and periodically it reverses the direction. Here it is shown by graph that your voltage is given by this curve, that is E naught sin omega t, and similarly your current is also shown by a sin theta curve. This E is given in the form of sin theta or sin omega t. Here this E naught is the maximum value of EMF that is possible. So it is denoted by E naught on your graph. And similarly this I naught is the maximum possible value of current. Because sin theta can have its maximum value plus 1. That's why current will get its maximum value I naught. So at theta equal to pi by 2 degree, or you can say at a time period of t by 4, you will get maximum current or maximum voltage. Similarly, if your EMF changes according to the cos theta curve, then we will plot its curve like this, because this is the curve of cos theta. Next thing is that what is the average value or mean value of the alternating current. Here we will understand that average or mean value of alternating current over half cycle means this is called your full cycle or one complete cycle, that is from 0 degree to 2 pi. This is called complete cycle of alternating voltage. So in half cycle it is saying that the current which will send the same amount of charge in a circuit in that time of a half cycle as that is sent by the same time. Okay, this is basically DC current. It is talking about DC current. So how average EMF is defined or average current is defined? This is called half cycle. So in this cycle we have to take that value of current for its average calculation, which will be equivalent to, or you can say which will be analog to DC current. Okay, so average charge dq for a small interval dt can be given by instant current I into dt. Now we know instant current is I naught sin omega t, so your charge will be I naught sin omega t multiplied by dt. Here you can calculate total charge in half cycle, and that will be come out I naught sin omega t dt, and integration of sin omega t will be cos omega t, you know it, minus cos omega t or cos theta, and if we will solve it we will get 2 I naught upon omega, and current will come out to I naught upon pi. So mean value or average value of current will be total charge, mean charge upon time, that is t by 2, or Im will be 2 I naught upon pi. This can be given as 0.637 into I naught, or you can say 63.7% of I naught. So this is the value of average current over a half cycle. Similarly, we can get average value or mean value of alternating EMF, and that value comes out to be 2 E naught upon pi, or 0.637 times of E naught. Next topic is root mean square or virtual or effective value of alternating current. How to calculate RMS value of current. So what is the RMS value basically? In alternating current, when steady current reach, okay, then this RMS value is that amount of current which generate the same heat in the resistance in the given time, which is produced by the same alternating current in the same resistance in the same time. It means to say you have to consider one RMS value. It would produce the same amount of heat as your DC current produces. Okay, this heat is I square RT, and in case of DC power. Okay, in case of AC power, this heat can be calculated by IRMS square RT. So IRMS is equivalent to this DC current. To calculate this, we calculate a small amount of heat in a small amount of time interval. So this dH is I square R dt. Now we know that I equal to I naught sine omega t. So this I naught, this will become I naught square R sine square omega t. And if you will integrate it from 0 to t for one cycle, then integration of this term sine square omega t, that comes out to be t by 2. So here you can write that is I square R into t upon 2. Here you have to note down that omega is replaced by 2 pi upon capital T, because this is the relation between angular velocity and time period, that omega is 2 pi upon capital T. Now this heat will be IV, or you can write it IRMS square RT. If you will compare this equation and this equation, then you will get IRMS or I effective is I naught upon root 2. And 1 by root 2 is 0.707. So we say that it is 70.7% of maximum current. This special average value or RMS value is 70.7% of I naught. Similarly, we can calculate root mean square value of voltage also, and this will come out E naught upon root 2 or 0.707 E naught. If you will solve this, you will get 70.7% of E naught. Now one thing is that why we calculate RMS value, because if we will complete the average value, then in one cycle it will come out to be 0. So this average is not effective for calculation of power or heat consumed in our houses. So for that we consider one special kind of current, that is called RMS current. Now we have to understand what is relative values or peak virtual mean values of alternating current. We know that maximum or average value for half cycle is 0.637 and RMS value is 0.707 E naught. So here this is E naught maximum value, here EV or RMS value 70%, and here is mean value in half cycle, that is 63%. Now this following information is useful for us, that in our houses we get 230 volt AC or 230 RMS value, and which means its effective value is 230 volt over a whole cycle. AC ammeter and AC voltmeter read RMS value of alternating current and voltage respectively. So these they are called hot wire ammeter, because normally that ammeter and voltmeter that we use in our lab, that is for measurement of DC current only. For AC current we use hot wire ammeters, or you can say hot wire galvanometer, hot wire voltmeter, like that. Next thing is that we will calculate AC circuit with a pure resistor, or AC power when supplied to a pure resistor. In pure resistor we will have a single resistance, and here we will have one AC power, input AC power. So this input AC power is given, suppose this is equation 1, then input current can be calculated as maximum value of E to R. Then this will become E naught by R into sine omega t. So if you are dividing maximum value of voltage by resistance, you will get maximum amount of current, and where I naught is given E naught upon R. So if we want to plot a graph, we know that for voltage, like for voltage and for current, we have got the same phase, omega t and omega t. So we can write EMF and current are in same phase. Now in this graph we can calculate, first of all we will make graph of EMF, then we will make graph of alternating current. Both graph will follow the same pattern because both are dependent on sin theta. In phasor diagram we can represent E0 and I0 in this way, that this blue arrow, this represents your EMF, and this red color arrow, this represents your current, and this omega t is basically phase angle that is made with positive x-axis. Now second case is that when we apply AC power to pure inductor. Pure inductor is like this. We have a circular coil like solenoid, and basically this coil is connected with input AC power, and that power is E0 sin omega t. Then we have to calculate induced EMF or current in this coil. We know that induced EMF in inductor is given by minus L times di by dt. By mutual induction principle we know this is the polarity, plus and minus, and this is value of E, induced EMF, that is E equal to minus L di by dt, where negative sign indicates that direction of current, back EMF or back current is opposite to the main current. Now by Kirchhoff law also we can say that both voltage in a complete loop, both voltage should be equal. So E0 sin omega t should be equal to L di by dt. From here we can calculate our current, that is E0 upon L sin omega t, or to calculate total current we have to integrate this term. Now you know integration of sin omega t is minus cos omega t, and you will get instant value of current, that is I0 sin omega t minus pi by 2, because minus cos omega t can be written in this form. Here this omega L is denoted by XL, which is called inductive reactance of inductor or effective resistance offered by inductor to flow of current, and this is omega L, and its value is E0 upon I0. Also from these two equations we can say that your current lags behind EMF by pi by 2, because here we are subtracting pi by 2, and voltage has a phase of sin omega t only. So if we will make this graph, then voltage graph, suppose it is started from here, then your current graph will start from this point, that is lagging by pi by 2. Phasor diagram, or you can say phase diagram, can be made in this form, or this is another way of representation. If you are representing your EMF in this direction, then from this EMF behind angle of pi by 2 we will draw our current, and angle made by the positive x-axis is omega t. Now when this AC power will be connected with capacitor, then we know that this EMF is given by E0 sin omega t, and charge will be stored in this capacitor in this form, and that charge will be given by Q equal to CV or CE, and that E is E0 sin omega t. Now if we will differentiate this charge, okay, with respect to time, then you will get I, because I is dq by dt. Now differentiation of sin omega t is what? That is cos omega t and into omega. So we will write it cos omega t into omega. So in this form this can be written that I equal to I0 sin omega t plus pi by 2. Here you will notice that this current is basically leading by angle pi by 2, and this voltage is lagging in pure capacitive circuit. Here this E0 upon omega c, or you can say E0 omega c, can be written in this form, E0 upon 1 upon omega c. This 1 upon omega c is called a resistance, effective resistance offered by capacitor. So it is denoted by Xc, and value of Xc is 1 by omega c, where it is named as Xc equal to capacitive reactance of capacitor. Its SI unit will be ohm, because it is same like resistance. And one important point is that current leads the EMF by pi by 2 radian. if we will try to plot a graph of voltage and current, then voltage is basically given by sine omega t, so voltage graph is given in this form only, but current is basically your leading by pi by 2 degree or 90 degree. So we will make this graph as a graph of cos theta, because sine 90 plus theta is basically cos theta. So this current will follow curve of cos theta, that's why it is made in this form. And in this diagram, also phasor diagram, we can understand that your voltage is given by is represented by angle omega t with positive x-axis, then current will lead by an angle of pi by 2 to voltage. Second thing is that variation of inductive reactance with frequency. We know that XL is directly proportional to omega L, so we can write that XL equal to 2 pi FL, because omega is basically 2 pi F. So XL is your directly proportional to frequency. So this leads to plot a graph of y equal to mx plus c. So your graph will be plotted like this, which will pass through origin. If your XL or y is XL, and on the x-axis your frequency is represented. Now variation of XC with frequency, how your capacitive reactance will vary with frequency. We know that this relation XC equal to 1 by omega c, this relation, and omega is 2 pi fc. So basically this graph follows XC is proportional to 1 by f, so this leads to hyperbola, and we will make a graph of hyperbola in this case. One important point is that inductance cannot decrease the direct current, it can only decrease the alternating current, because for direct current your frequency is considered to be 0, because there no coil is rotating. Similarly, your capacitor will block DC current because its resistance X equal to 1 by omega c, and omega is basically 0 for direct current, and this tends to infinite resistance. Your capacitor offers infinite resistance, so basically your capacitor becomes an open circuit for direct current. Okay, so this is the way how we apply our AC power to different elements. In the next lecture we will understand that how this variation will take place if we connect all three elements together, means one inductor, then one capacitor, and when resistor, all three are connected together in series, then how this will change our result for main current, okay, and voltages. Okay, thank you. Sai Ram.